VMware Explore 2023 Community Edition, John?
You know, we gotta talk to the people. It's not just all, fancy pants, Fortune 10s needs. It's about the people who are just trying to run some VMs, at home and test some stuff out.
Absolutely, yeah. I do love that about the V community. Is there's so many Homlab editions. There's so many podcasts dedicated to that. There's so many YouTube channels, and everybody's figuring out ways to do things with whether it's nested ESXi, but just doing all different types of things. Obviously, William Lamb, much praise for all the work he does in there, but he's not the only one. And so today, joining us from VMware, actually VMware employee, but very active in the VMware community, Matt Mancini, who I like to refer to because I'm Italian as Matt Mancini.
Mancini.
Va bene, tutto posto. Hey, welcome to the Virtually Speaking podcast, my friend.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, so we were talking earlier about a project you've been doing with the Optane disk, Intel, and getting these in the hands of some of our community for their labs. So why don't you set the story for us?
Yeah, it was an interesting story. I was doing Homlabs for all-flash vSAN, and Intel had saw my post, and they said, hey, we'd really like to get these Optane, these high-performance Optane disks into the hands of vExperts and other folks to enhance their labs. So from there, I just started reaching out to our vExpert team, built a program, and we really started getting motivated to get those disks out there to them all.
Oh, okay. And so what are they doing with the disks?
Yeah, so most of them use them for vSAN deployments, so they use it for their front-end cache, right?
Yeah.
And we should probably say that Optane isn't for production. We're totally talking Homlabs here, right?
Yeah, it's Homlab stuff. So
this is the Homlab version.
That's right. But what they would do is they could see the performance and the enhancement, and from there, the kind of ask was if you're going to get a set of these drives, and granted, we gave them like 10 to 12 drives each.
Oh, wow.
It was insane.
Yeah, no, I saw someone post the loot photo, and it's like, that is a pile of drives.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a score.
Yeah, we scored some serious drives for the vExperts. So many of them globally were able to get involved in that program. They were able to enhance their vSAN, especially in the cache area. But I've done a little bit more than that, right? I've taken the bomb. That's kind of our next topic, but yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So you get it in the hands of these people so they can actually, because home labs are expensive, first of all.
Oh, anyway.
Yeah. And then, you want to have a disk that's going to be able to have some level of performance. And so, getting it in the hands is the first part, but then now what do you do with them?
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things I did which was a little bit different. You're right. Getting 3 hosts up in a vSAN cluster can be a lot of expense for folks, but there's Workstation out there quite a bit. And if you can enhance Workstation to do something, like nested ESA or nested OSA, you can really do some great things. And that's what I did was I built this, what I call my super workstation, right? This big beast of a workstation to do it.
Well, and what's cool with nested labs, like moving your instead of having 3 or 4 NUCs that can they're great, but maybe they're old celery ones or whatever that have 2 cores at 1.6 gigahertz. You get to the point that if you try to run something like VCF, that's got a little bit of heft to it. Even with holodeck, you're still above 100 gigs of RAM needed or things like that. Or you want to simulate a larger cluster than how many NUCs you really want to tolerate. Having DC adapters dangling around, having this bigger workstation was kind of a trend I've seen. People sometimes find off lease, small Xeons there was some drafting station and stuff them up. So what were the specs? Kind of where'd you go with this?
So I was able to get a engineering sample from Intel, a Xeon Gold 6252, a 24-core processor for the base.
Is this one of the ones that it's chiseled in the CPU restricted?
That could be.
I ended up with one of those one time. I was like, what the heck is this?
You can find them on eBay for a pretty good price, and but it's run like a top. It runs great. It's a great processor. 384 gigs of RAM in this box, 63 terabytes of disk. And
you gotta have 2 full VCF workload domains in that thing nested.
Totally. Yeah, the real star is those Optane disks. So getting those, I put 3 1.5 terabyte drives in there, and now
because you're probably overcommitting memory, so then you can swap to really, really fast disks.
You can if you wanted to. That's right. Yeah, absolutely. And what I did was each drive was I considered individual ESXi host. So each drive had its own Optane disk to run. And when it boots up, it just boots. It runs so smooth. I could run like a Windows VM to do Active Directory, NTP, etc., and VCSA, and then these 3 appliances. And it was just like I had 3 full hosts. It ran so well.
Yeah.
It's a lower cost to do something like that than someone trying to buy 3 hosts and build it up themselves.
I worked on some hands-on lab development recently, and it got me much more familiar with nested vSphere. And I remember the early days, nested vSphere was slow, like clunky. But when you get the storage layer up fast enough, I still don't want to run my prod Oracle database in a nested instance, but it's actually pretty responsive for like testing stuff out, labbing stuff out, like those types of workflows.
So I was getting about 15,000 IOPS out of my
a nested host. That's incredible.
Single nested host.
Off of a single drive, and it's hairpinning God knows how many.
Yeah, it was doing very well. I was very on Windows 11, the underlying OS, so it did pretty darn good. But I was also able to do a 2-node robo cluster, right? So I was able to do that with OSA, but I was actually able to spin up 4 of those at the same time.
Oh wow!
So 4 2 nodes, and then do some testings.
Try out the nested RAID, all that stuff. That's fun.
And still had plenty of space to spare with the Optane disks.
Okay, no, that's a good use for them.
Yeah, absolutely. So then you actually took all this knowledge that you did and actually created a YouTube channel out here?
Well, I've had a YouTube channel for a while, but for this particular series, I made a 9-part series that takes folks from step 1 all the way through the entire process of how to build it from nothing, like installing Windows 11 and how to do ESA install and VCSA and NTP, the whole thing. It explains it all.
Oh, that's always cool, because that always helps if you can go through that and you can maybe play one part faster, skip ahead, but if you're missing something, like how did that work? You got the steps.
I've actually had some college professors reach out to me and say, we love what you've done here. Yeah. We're using all of your stuff to teach our kids in college about how to use Workstation, right? I was really surprised. Yeah, it was really cool.
Are you getting any kickback for that? No proceeds going to you?
Nope.
We're going to have to talk to Michael Roy, get you a special discount code.
No, I kid. I know you. Obviously, you're no stranger to doing volunteer work and all that stuff, and giving your work out to the community. But not only to the V community, actually to the community out here in Las Vegas.
That's
as well.
right.
Is that right?
Yeah. So I'm a 12-year employee with VMware, and what they do is they give you about $3,000 to donate to a nonprofit.
Right.
So I chose the Pinball Hall of Fame. And everyone's kind of like, pinball? Why are you giving $3,000 to a pinball place?
That's my question.
I mean, I think I might have given $3,000 to pinball in my youth, but that's a different story.
In a different way.
But they're actually a nonprofit here in Las Vegas, and what they do is they actually give almost 95% of their proceeds back to charity. At one use case, they're actually building housing for foster kids that age out of the system and have no place to go.
That's cool. So there's a good return on investment. Maintain the machines and
exactly. And gaming really got me into IT, like a lot of folks did. I mean, that's really how we got our start. And I see by, the Pinball Museum preserving these games is a great thing. But in addition to that, I'm going to spend 2 weeks there actually repairing the games.
Wow.
Which is great. I have an electronics background, so I'm going to go in and repair them to kind of help them keep up and running and making more money. So
wow, that's pretty cool.
Charities.
Get out the soldering iron. Sounds like fun.
Yeah, good stuff.
And what is the name of this pinball company again?
The actual place is called the Pinball Museum Hall of Fame.
Oh, wow. I think there's been a couple of vExpert parties there over there.
Yeah, we were just there.
So my recommendation is when you do that, maybe get some footage of this place as well and add it to your YouTube channel. I'd love to see that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the next thing for sure.
Yeah. Matt, man, what a stellar example for the VMware community, man. I appreciate you doing that. I also appreciate you joining us on the Virtually Speaking podcast.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it. And folks can always reach out to me at vmexplorer.com. I have a list of all the videos and all the bombs, the bill of materials for all my home labs and workstations. It's all there. I'm always glad to help out the community.
Yeah, we will definitely leave links in the show notes of this episode to all of that, to your YouTube channel and to your blogs and all that stuff. So absolutely. Yeah. Matt, thanks so much, man.
No worries. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.